Well, guys, welcome to Three Bold Takes. I'm Quinn. I'm joined here by Freddie. Luckily for the James Franklin people out there, Chase is not with us tonight for this recording.
Yep.
It happened, Freddie. They've after losing to UCLA and Northwestern in back-to-back games with the Oregon loss the week before that. Penn State has pulled the trigger. They have fired James Franklin. What are you thinking, man? I know we rode that Penn State hype train
Yeah.
real hard. I didn't jump off until they lost to Notre Dame last year in the playoffs. I know you were still holding on for the ride this year. How are you feeling?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. It's a sad day to be a James Franklin lover. And a guy that has mad respect for James Franklin and a guy that thinks he still is a very good football coach. Um, but you just can't do what you did, right? Like, and it's not necessarily losing the two games as 20 plus point favorites, right? Like that's one thing. It's the constant, this is our year. We've got the guys. The hype is there and they just can never deliver. I honestly, I guarantee you talk started after the Oregon game. Like because that was one of the moments that could have been a make or break for James Franklin and there's just something about it that when you go from national championship talk at the beginning of the year. Um, you've got a returning quarterback, a returning running back, some weapons at the wide receiver for the first time in a long time, and normally a very sound defense. The only thing that you can blame is coaching. So to me, I think it makes sense. Now, I heard a rumor that Adidas was pushing this because Adidas is going to be sponsoring Penn State moving forward. I believe next year is when they start. And Adidas actually said that they would cover the buyout for James Franklin. Um, I don't know how true that is, but what a weird scenario, and I'm gonna say a dangerous scenario at that, if that is true moving forward in college football with the more money that's being poured into these schools, the more money and sponsorships. Like there's going to be more of this, whether it's like at Auburn with the boosters, right? They run the show, they decide when to fire. It's not necessarily the athletic director, it's not necessarily the fans that kind of get fed up. They call the shots. I'm afraid that we're getting to a point where these either, brand sponsors or huge donors are going to start calling shots no matter what. So that's something to look out for going forward. Uh, but listen, James Franklin is going to make $50 million to not coach. He's going to be hired somewhere. I can promise you that. Now, where I do not know, um, but I would not be surprised if an SEC school did not go after him. But I think it's a good day for Penn State fans in a sense of they can finally win a big game potentially moving forward. But as a James Franklin guy and apologetic, it sucks.
Yeah, for me, the problem for Franklin, was he always consistently gave you, we're gonna beat the teams we should beat. And so that Oregon loss, it was a real gut punch, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
the vibe I got around that game was prove it that this is the year. Let's finally win a big game. Frankly, I don't think Oregon is. I think we overreacted to Oregon beating Penn State as like, oh wow, Oregon's great. I think Oregon's good. I don't think Oregon's great. And so to lose that game at home in that atmosphere to a good team, and frankly, it wasn't even. I mean, you ended up making it close, but you got pushed around there for a minute. It looked like you were about to get blown out on your own field.
Yeah.
And then to turn the dagger was the turnaround. After that gut punch, there's already all this negative energy. Turn around and lose to two of the bottom five teams of the conference. Now, UCLA might work their way out of that. They had a big win this past weekend against Michigan State.
They did.
But perception wise,
Yeah.
UCLA and Northwestern, bottom five in the conference, perception wise, right there with like Rutgers and Purdue. So to lose that game, back to back. Bad, bad, bad look. And I'm not surprised he's out the door. I personally don't think he's going to be in the SEC. I see the only way he lands there is if 4 SEC jobs come open. So let's say the Florida job comes open, the Auburn job comes open. In that scenario, I could see where he might end up at Arkansas. Otherwise, I think his landing spot, and what will probably be the best thing for Franklin, would be to land in the Big 12 somewhere where the pressure's not super high and the fan bases will accept 8 to 10 win seasons every year and consistently good teams.
I know a job in the Big 12 that's open.
What you got?
Oklahoma State.
Yeah, that would work for him. I think he would do just fine at Oklahoma State. The pressure wouldn't be insane. He could build a consistent program that's getting 8 to 10 wins, and they would be happy with that. It'd be in the race for the Big 12 title. They'd be good with that. I don't know if Franklin is going to be able to cut it at a program with high end mass. And this hurts for me to say because, Freddie, you know, and anyone who's been watching the channel for a while knows, I was a big advocate for Franklin. I think he falls somewhere between 8th and 15th best coach in college football. His resume is really good. He just hasn't won the big games.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, with that many years under your belt, it's hard for me to think that you're gonna be able to win the big games. And you can't even go coach a job like Arkansas and be okay not winning the big games because eventually they're gonna run you out of town. Everybody in the SEC, other than Mississippi State, Kentucky, and Vanderbilt, have aspirations of being not just the best team in the SEC, but national champions. All right. And you might consider that ludicrous, but it's the reality of the investment and the passion that the fan bases in the SEC have. So I just don't know if he's got what it takes to cut teeth down here. I know he did it at Vandy. Like I said, that's one of the 3 where you're allowed to just kind of be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he's got what it takes to cut teeth in an SEC job. I think it'd be better for him to go low tier ACC or Big 12.
Yeah, it is definitely going to be interesting to see where he ends up. And I think this offseason of the coaching carousel is going to be one of the crazier ones that we've ever seen.
I agree.
Like last year was very sleepy and like nothing much happened. Like it wasn't like a wild one. I think they make up for it this year. I mean, you said it, potentially Florida, Arkansas is already open, Penn State's open now, potentially Auburn, Oklahoma State. You know, you got UCLA, Virginia Tech. Like these are some big schools that have positions to fill, but there's not a lot of high end coaches available to fill those places. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see where everybody falls, but this is one of the big dominoes to fall in the world.
And now I'll ask you this. I'll give you my answer first and let's see what you think. Where does Penn State go now in the post James Franklin era? I've seen some talk of Matt Rule. I'm Matt Rule. I'm not leaving Nebraska personally. I know he's a Penn State guy, so I get why that connection's happening. I like Kurt Signet. I just call a spade a spade. Like that. That's who. This is for every coaching job. If I'm Florida and they fire Napier and I'm trying to grab somebody, I'm Auburn and they fire Hugh Freeze and I'm trying to grab somebody, I'm Penn State. If you're one of the teams that fancies yourself a national championship caliber program, Kurt Signetti's the guy I'm going for.
Yeah, I mean, he would definitely get a call.
Yeah.
I just don't think he would go. I think they're ready for Jim Knowles to take the step. Their defensive coordinator. Like I think that they have enough confidence in him. And I don't think they've necessarily named an interim yet, but I would assume it would be him. He's one of the bigger names on the coaching staff. So I think they may give him a shot. I mean, depending upon how he, finishes out the year, which by the way, starting quarterback's out for the year as well, so that doesn't help. So you really can't draw anything from this year from the remaining games on the schedule. But I wouldn't be surprised if they just do a smooth transition. Plus, you just paid $50 million to get somebody out of town. How much money do you really have to go after a big name that can pay him more than where like Signetti's making at Indiana right now? Like, how much more money could you afford to give him?
That's true. That's true. All right, guys. Well, you tell us down in the comment section below how you're feeling about the James Franklin firing, who you like as the next head coach for the Penn State Nittany Lions. I know Freddie and I are going to be pouring one out for James Franklin tonight, man. And we hope y'all like, comment, subscribe, follow us for more stuff. We do a lot of predictions on this channel, bring you breaking news when it happens here in college football. That being said, we're going to log out of here.